Round number 6. What am I talking about? Fortresses come out, also Melting Point, Sabertooth, and Vulcan. Fortresses for Mumbo Jumbo, I think, a very decent defensive units. I just won a game with those. And also for Carry Boy. I guess Fortress Aggro also ain't too weak. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Fortresses instantly get anti-air. Definitely makes sense against the Wraiths and the Phoenixes, although much less against the Wraiths, I guess. All of the Rhinos are now mobile beaconed in order to take that level 3 Rhino out, but Mumbo has another trick up his sleeve. So far he has been the man of tricks. He has been basically a living trick bag. He goes for Final Blitz. That Rhino has almost 70k health, and these Rhinos have less health than that. So even if that one Rhino just goes in and explodes, all of the other Rhinos here will die. Meanwhile, we see 2 more Fortresses on the side of Carry Boy. And the Rhino has been repositioned to the middle in order to go after, I guess, the steel balls here. Or whatever else may be here. You do see another rapid resupply. Both players do that. Carry Boy even goes for enhanced range and speed. So he's going to be down in eco. That Rhino goes in. Steel balls lock on. Rhino gets closer. And explodes. And that fortress is almost down to no health. So far, the Phoenixes have been shielded from the anti-air missiles by the Wraiths. But that luck might just be about to run out. Yeah, those Phoenixes get targeted. On this side, there already is no more Phoenixes. Steel Balls doing their best to kill the fortresses. Shields are down. But unfortunately, it looks like Carry Boy is now having a comeback. He is definitely taking this round by quite a mile with the fortresses. He just went into fortresses heavier. And I guess the unit composition from Mumbo Jumbo was a little more counterable to fortresses, because those were just the anti-air. The shenanigan of exploding Rhino did unfortunately not pay out. Photon coating for Carry Boy. He throws it on one of the Rhinos here. Mumbo in the meantime is thinking. What can he do? Is there another curveball that he can throw? Something that he can do? Something to buy himself the winning round, because if he manages to win a round and there's only the 2 fortresses alive, that will be enough damage. Iron Blast definitely worth a thought. And also, he has to think about that as well, because the opponent might pick it. Though we do know that it is not the case. More fortresses come out for Carry Boy. Mumbo is still thinking and thinking. I think he was asking for ideas, or maybe we suggested it on our own. I think this is the round. I suggested at some point that he should go do a Phoenix Frank, because there's absolutely nothing here to stop that. And I think this is the turn where that happens, but I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, I think here come the Phoenixes. I think other people also suggested it, so that's not like my thing. Phoenixes, though, he does put them a little further behind. Maybe that is good, because the fortress here might target the Wraith instead. I'm not entirely sure how the Fortress AA targeting works, but we will see. Shield on the fortresses for Mumbo, and he drops some additional fortresses. Now I guess everything here is sort of protected from Iron Blast. In the end, I think he skipped, right? Doesn't have any cards, doesn't have any new abilities. I think he just plain skipped. This Rhino goes in, but gets EMP'd. I think the bug still exists where it looks like it's exploding, but it does not actually explode. Phoenixes here did not eat any missiles whatsoever. So here comes the tower debuff. And that Rhino is at the throat of the tower, but once again gets stopped. Phoenixes still going around, killing the rear line of Stormcallers, but their time might be up. Yeah, one AA missile. One AA salvo. Second one gets dodged. But it does not get the tower. That was extremely close. More fortresses are pushing in theory. It should be a win, but unfortunately there is no more anti-air. If there had been but 2 Phoenixes alive, I think this would have been the win for Mumbo, but unfortunately the anti-air missiles of the fortresses were simply too powerful. 2 Phoenixes on this side, the ones that defended against the Rhino, managed to keep Carry Boy in the game for an additional round. It is not much damage on Mambo's health though, he's still at about 4,550. Junior manufacturing at this point probably makes no more sense. Improved overlords, even Wasp Swarm and Rhino Assault worth a thought. With the exploding Rhino tech out and the Beyblade mode, it certainly is something that makes you think this Rhino might be worth more now than it would be normally. Wasp Swarm comes out for Carry Boy, more Phoenixes I guess. And here comes the Rhino. Shields have also come out for Carry Boy. So that now is a very scary fortress army. So far no melters and no nothing for Mr. Mambo here. Phoenix, not Phoenixes. Yeah, I guess Phoenixes here as well. But the Wasp Swarm is definitely going to be good against the Phoenixes here. Unless they get repositioned, I don't see what can really work. Rhino gets dropped basically into the middle of the enemy. That Rhino is still key. It does not have Photon. So those Phoenixes will simply take care of it. There seems to be no Phoenixes on this side. Like these Phoenixes and these Phoenixes seem to be the only ones. Missile down here for Carry Boy. Will take out these Phoenixes unless they get a level. Mambo still has enough money. He goes for anti-air himself. I guess that will deal with the Phoenixes. But it's also pretty expensive for just 2 packs of Phoenixes. No level on the Phoenixes here. No temporary upgrades. On the other side we do have rapid resupply and both towers are level 2. And both sides still have the Steel Ball Crawler combo. And both sides also have a missile. Like he did not want anything to happen to these towers ever again. Fortress does actually start to defend against the Wasps here. Another salvo should be dealing with that. I guess the Phoenix just shoots a little bit backwards and takes care of that. However, this side is looking like it's getting stomped. Steel Ball does take out the tower very quickly. Is a bit more support damage on the on the fortress, and it's still not done yet. It's looking pretty bad right now. The tower is level 2, but against that firepower it's not going to hold off that much longer. The Wraith is still alive, but it's pretty low health. Tower debuff definitely helping here, but there's 2 more fortresses, one with like half shields or say 30% shields after that. There can only be one resolution to this fight, to this round, and that is a lot of damage against Mambo here. Health bar suddenly not looking all that much more different, and it is the deciding round. We have some very powerful units dropping. Sledgehammer's probably not good for Mambo. Overlord and Melter a lot better. Fire badges, I think, on both sides are just doomed. Similar to sledges. There's just too many fortresses to make that work. I guess you could put like sledges here in order to eat the missile, but then again some crawlers will do the exact same thing, and then you move some level 2 Phoenixes in to kill the tower. That would be one move that I could think of, but I'm not even sure if it's going to get that in time. In any case, Fire Badgers in the flank, but Phoenixes on this side at least are in position to defend. An additional squad of Fire Badgers that honestly I would be selling, if nothing else. Mambo goes for the Melter. Definitely makes sense against this many fortresses. Does he have the shaft clear to make it work though? In theory, this melting point will, especially with range, be able to kill all of these fortresses. You also see more melters coming out. 3 more melters, so that is 4 melters in a single turn. One of them being level 3. If that doesn't sound like fortress killing power, I don't know what does. That Rhino has moved into the middle, probably in order to contest with like level 2 fortresses and hopefully take down a lot of shields. But it is useless because these Phoenixes will... Well, actually these Phoenixes will target that Rhino. So I guess there is some merit to that. This Rhino should in theory be doing its job, I hope. Or maybe those Phoenixes retarget? Yeah, they retarget. So no chance. Rhino does get in, does start punching the tower, but it's not enough. Second Rhino also has been molten. I think molten is correct. However, the fortress takes the tower. There simply was not enough left. The Rhinos soften up the front. And the fire badgers are even moving in on that side. The Wraith was not enough to stop them. It was kinda missing for Chaffley in the front. Second tower falls, and the army of fortresses is charging the final melter. It ends up being a defeat, which is honestly quite painful. Yeah, that was an epic game, I wanna say. That absolutely was an epic game. And props to Mambo for giving me that game to cast, even though it was a loss. At the end of the day, I think these rhinos, I'm not entirely sure I would have enjoyed them being in the rear as sort of a clear, because even the steel boys were still getting some value against the tower. But at the end of the day, I think it simply is going to show that I think this game is pretty well balanced. You can get a lot of rounds with tricks and with sentry missiles, but at some point, especially if the opponent starts getting masked giants, it starts getting harder and harder to get through. And in the end, if you run out of stupid tricks before the opponent starts running out of health, then you are at a very grave disadvantage and you have to find some way to fix your board so that you can still win this. Oh well, that's how the cookie crumbled, and I shall try and learn from this. To not rely on stupid tricks alone, always build an army that will hopefully be able to beat the opponent's army, and use as little resources as necessary to annoy your opponent with flanks and everything, if it even comes to that. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening. Give Mumbo some views if he does indeed show up on Mechabellum as a streamer again, which is the case right now. And thank you very much for watching and listening. Until next time.